Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here with David McKenna, who's the new president and CEO of Rocky Mountaineer. And many of you know about Rocky Mountaineer. It's the rail tour service throughout Canada, and now fairly new in the US. It's been around for years. It's one of the great rail trips in the world. And David was just named president and CEO. And we're going to find out all about what's going on with Rocky Mountaineer today on Insider Travel Report. Now, David, first of all, how are you and where are you?
Thank you, James. Well, what a great welcome. I am doing great, and I am here in beautiful downtown Vancouver. It's a beautiful sunny day, which is a bit out of the norm here in the wintertime. And here at the beautiful Rocky Mountaineer offices. So
No, that's
excited
great.
to be here. Thank you for asking me to join you.
No, that's great. I appreciate you spending the time with us. Now, let's set the stage. What is, and tell us about Rocky Mountaineer today. What are the products and trains that you offer, and what are the itineraries?
Sure. Well, Rocky Mountaineer has been around for 32 years now. Iconic Canadian travel, luxury travel experience. We like to say that we create life-changing experiences for both our guests and our employees. And that's been very, very true for a number of years. So in Canada, we have three iconic routes. One goes, they originate out of Vancouver. One does the northern route, ends up in terminuses in Jasper. One goes from Vancouver through Kamloops to Jasper, and then there's one that goes from Vancouver through Kamloops to Banff, and of course you can do that in reverse order. So those have been the ones that people have enjoyed. Well over 2 million people since we started this journey. And as you mentioned, just recently last year in the middle of the pandemic, I'm really proud of this team. That took a lot of courage to launch a new product in the middle of the pandemic. And so it's from the Rockies to Red Rocks. It starts in Denver, Colorado, and goes to Moab.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can do that in reverse order. And it's, I haven't done it yet, but the imagery and the video that I've seen since joining here, spectacular. And I think it really speaks to just how incredibly beautiful the scenery is in areas of both Canada and the U.S. And that's our goal, is bringing that spectacular natural wonder to all of our guests and employees.
Now, for all your trains now, which one are there things operating right now?
Not yet. Our operating season is April through to October. So in the U.S., we kick off on April 17th and we run through to October 28th.
Okay.
And in Canada, we start on April 25th and go to October 7th.
No,
So right now, the teams are just, I was just down at the maintenance shop in Kamloops, British Columbia, and watching how they completely redo the cars almost every year from the wheels right up through the upholstery to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect for our guests when we get rolling again here in the spring.
Well, and I have been on those trains, unfortunately not on one of the runs, but I was up there at a Virtuoso conference a few years ago, and we had a little reception in the trains, and they are beautiful cars, really great, very comfortable. So now, are you starting to see people book your trains now in Canada from the U.S., of course, and also for your new route in the U.S.?
I will say we're actually quite surprised at the strength of the booking pace so far. And I would imagine that your audience is getting the same thing. We came out of Q4 at about 125% of booking expectations. So that's leading really well. And regardless of the Omicron issue right now, you and I were talking a little bit earlier about the fact that as opposed to previous waves, we've not seen really any cancellations that are material. And if anything, the booking pace has continued. So we're really quite optimistic that North Americans in particular, our European friends, they're getting it now that it's just really about changing how we travel a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure in a little bit, we can talk a little bit about how our whole goal is when the guests come in, that we cradle them and make them feel super safe. Like, it's that okay, I don't have to worry about Omicron right now or COVID, whatever it is, because this team clearly has this well in hand. So we're really optimistic about that. The booking pace again is ahead, and so we're actually starting to see some dates fill up, and I think we're going to have a very, very successful summer.
That's good news. And I know I feel the same way from what I've talked to with the travel advisors I've spoken with, and they're all very gung ho about this year, regardless of this initial Omicron variant spread. Now, that brings me, how hard was Rocky Mountaineer hit by this pandemic? You were operating last year. I mean, how did you get through this?
Well, I would say we operated last year. So my previous job, we were a major supplier to Rocky Mountaineer in the towns of Banff and Jasper, and it was really tough. Rocky Mountaineer did not operate in 20, and last year only got the ability to operate about half of a season,
Right.
A little under half a season.
So mostly for Canadians, I would think, last year.
Mostly for Canadians, but our American friends were allowed to travel. It was a little, I mean, it was tough, right? I think that was the ongoing discussion, is that it was hard to get across the border and hard to get testing and all those sort of things. I think those have all been worked out. But we did have, and we even had some folks travel from particularly the UK region last summer, and we're seeing that same sort of thing happen again this year. A lot of our bookings, the majority of our bookings are from outside of Canada this year. So hard hit. We did not operate profitably last year, and of course we had zero revenue in 20.
Right.
What I would tell you is that the Armstrong family, that this is a privately held company, and the Armstrong family had a very healthy balance sheet. They managed the company very well. And so walking into it, that allowed us to not have to really cut into the operations, which means that we're ready to go this year.
That's great. Yeah, you're up and running and ready to go, which is excellent. Now, you mentioned your background. Talk about your background and what you can bring to the table to sort of help Rocky Mountaineer recover from the past 2 years.
Well, I'm an operations leader, and so in the past, though, I've been very, very focused on growth. We've been able to strategically plan, target, and execute upon growth strategies that, frankly, the fun part of it is that you build the team and the team gets super engaged with it, and we have a lot of fun building things out and welcoming new people into our culture. The one thing that Rocky Mountaineer has that I certainly value deeply is an amazing employee culture.
Right.
And it's very positive. I've also, for the last 3 years, been the chair of the Tourism Industry Association of Canada, which was supposed to be a fun job 3 years ago. And
little did you know.
Yeah, it was quite an important job for the last couple of years. So I think that helps, certainly helps me get the team here at Rocky positioned for emergence, knowing exactly what the rules and the regulations are. Also, what the Canadian government has been fabulous in supporting industry and all Canadians through this thing. So, but you have to know how to access that, and so I think I'm bringing that expertise here. I would say that aside from that, I'm just really pleased to work with this team because they are real pros and they're ready to go.
No, absolutely. And I think that's going to certainly help you, the connections you've made there. And I think we were talking earlier about your educational background gives you a little insight into COVID as well, since you had that more scientific background as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, what do you plan to do first to help Rocky Mountaineer recover and return to form? What's your first goal? I know you just got there, so maybe that's an unfair question, but I'll ask it anyway.
Well, I think it's very straightforward. It's the time we're in. So the first thing we need to do is take care of our people. So both our employees and guests, 100% of the focus is making sure everybody feels extremely safe and comfortable and have the tools that they need to be able to do their jobs, or have everything at their fingertips to really enjoy the experience that they're going to come and have with us. Secondly, is making sure that working with the team to make sure that we have all the resources available to be able to move out. When rail stock doesn't move, we only moved a limited amount of it last year. There's a lot of work that needs to go into getting everything ready to go. And the team here has been doing an amazing job. So really, it's just about making sure we have all the right people, that we're giving them the resources that they need. And, as CEO, you also have to, work with the family and work with our creditors to make sure that, we rebuild that balance sheet as quickly as we can, because clearly my energy and excitement is about growing the product out. And so that's sort of the mid to long term view. So short term, we're just going to make sure that the goals we have are to have one of the most successful summers in terms of the way our guests rate us, and one of the most exemplary summers in the way our employees rate us.
No, absolutely. Now, you mentioned long-term strategies. Have you already thought of some longer-term strategies to grow the product, develop new products, itineraries, new trains? Obviously, last year you started the U.S. Rocky Mountaineer. Any other ideas of growing the brand elsewhere?
Well, I think that the U.S. has a lot to offer. I think they've done a great job growing out this Western Canadian product. And so really, I think looking at what are our opportunities in around the existing new route that we have in at Denver down to Moab, can we build off of that new hub that we have down there? And what I would say is our focus is really going to be about the people that come and travel with us are looking for that iconic natural beauty. There's a perennial demand for people to enjoy, particularly around national parks and in those wild places that have been preserved for many generations. And so I think when we think about where we fit into the grand milieu of people enjoying those types of experience, I think we'll look there. In the States, I could see, Americans love to explore their backyard as well. And if we can provide a way of doing that has not been able to be done before in the U.S., that luxury train experience, I think that that could be really interesting.
No, absolutely. And I'm a bit of a train buff, and I've tried a lot of the services that have both begun and ended, unfortunately, here in the States. Rocky Mountaineer has been a pretty big staple up in Canada and now down here in the US, but unfortunately, none of the luxury train services that started here in the States survived, which is always surprising to me because I thought it was such an incredible thing. So if you can do it and you can bring more down here, I think that would be a great place to go.
Sure, they do have a secret sauce here at Rocky Mountaineer. I can't tell you about it, obviously, but there is a magic that this team brings, and we'll move forward cautiously, but with great excitement.
Well, I look forward to that. Now, what can you tell our travel advisor viewers about Rocky Mountaineer today and how they can feel confident about booking it? Obviously, we talked about all the health and safety protocols in place that you need, but what can you say to them about them booking their clients today?
Well, first and foremost, we have a high level of optimism that we are going to be running the full season this year. Okay. It's the time. I can't guarantee it, but just short of that, we're going to be running for whoever is willing to run with us, and have those experiences. The operations team here came up with a great safety protocol last year. I had a chance to ride it in August. And it was really well done because it did create that sense of comfort. So yes, I have to get tested, and we actually test all of our folks here before they get on. Both staff and all of our guests are tested before the journey begins.
Like a cruise ship, right?
Yeah, well, it's that added layer of comfort, right? And so, under Transport Canada Advisory, all of our staff are mandated to be vaccinated. So everyone here is fully vaxxed. And so we're going to create that magic and be able to move people through. And the other thing is that we have made quite a few never waste a good crisis. This team has undergone a couple of upgrades to the fleet. So we've received a few brand new rail cars
Oh, wow.
since the COVID piece started. And so we're going to be rolling some of those out. Some of them have barely had anybody on them before. And so that's really exciting. Get to be one of the first people to enjoy, we call it the 3.0 of the gold leaf cars. We're
Right.
redoing some of the silver leaf. So we have a lot of really good things. And, we also took advantage to, improve our HVAC system. So we put, HEPA filters on. We're filtering like 99.9% of airborne things out of the air.
Just like the airlines are, right?
Well, this is it. I mean, it's really about curating the best ideas, best practices out there. And I think the last piece I would say is, book with confidence. But I would say, if you have clients that are looking at it, I would certainly, to avoid disappointment, get with our system and start holding some dates, because we're at 70% right now of booking pace. So that will mean that some of the key high demand dates are going to start to fill up pretty quick here, if not already. And so I just don't want that to be a surprise for folks. I mean, it's a great problem to have, but we're almost getting back to a 19 level of interest in our routes. The one in the States, down in Colorado and Moab, I'm super pumped. I think that one is really exciting because it's so new in terms of the scenery and the offer and the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do that this year. And the one that trip has a limited capacity. We don't have as many rail cars down there as we have here in Canada,
Right.
as we continue to grow that. So again, peak dates, start getting in there if you're interested in holding some space, because that too will fill up pretty quick.
No, that's great. And it sounds like a great run. Now, where can travel advisors go to find out more about Rocky Mountaineer today?
You know what? You could certainly get a hold of our call center or any of our business development people. We have 25 agents across the U.S. that work with a number of different companies. And you know what? And if you can't get the right answer, you can hit our website. You can't get the right answer, just send me an email and I will certainly direct you to the right place. I always want to say that I'm always available for our clients all the time.
Well, David, I want to thank you for taking the time. I know it's been a busy time for you as you get really into getting this company back. And it sounds like you're doing a great job so far, and we're looking forward to it. I know that some of our team were supposed to be on it a couple of years ago and didn't end up going. And hopefully we can get on again this year and check it out, because it's a great product. And I'm glad you are now overseeing it, since it sounds like you're pretty familiar with it and you know where to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, James, maybe I'll reach out to you. And maybe when I do head down to Denver or to Moab to do that trip, maybe you would do that with me.
I would love to do that. We could do some live video. What an interesting concept, to do video on board the train together. So maybe that's the next time you see David. It'll be me interviewing him on this new route that they have in the US. So that'll be great. Again, thank you so much, and good luck in the next few months.
All right. Thank you so much. And just, everybody out there, keep the faith. We're turning this thing around.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.